One of the most important components to establishing good relationships with your customers, making sure you're communicating to them in clear and concise way, that you do that verbally, that you talk with your customers to make sure they understand what your products are, and also, more importantly, what their needs are, that you have a clear understanding. You can also communicate to your customers via print media. And of course, email is another important way of staying in touch with your communications and making sure. Communications is the overarching theme for good customer relationship. Maintaining those positive relationships in difficult time, again, really stems from being in touch with your customers, dealing with their issues, not being afraid to address those difficult challenges that customers put in front of you. A customer challenge is really a gem that anyone in business should be really pleased to get a customer complaint, because it gives you an opportunity to not only resolve the customer problem, but also develop a positive relationship with that customer going forward. Once you solve a customer's problem, you've got somebody that's willing to come back to you because they develop trust that you're responsive to their needs and you're able to resolve their issues. Well, excellent customer service is really based on the premise of making sure that your customers are satisfied. And while that sounds simplistic at its base, it can be very complex. Customers have different needs. Certainly, the issues that come before you from a customer, some can be legitimate. Some cannot be legitimate. And you've got to ferret that out, work with the customer to try to make sure that you satisfy the customer. You asked me what are the three components of good customer service. That first, of course, is, again, communicating with the customer, talking to the customer, making sure you understand what the problem is and what the best resolution might be for the customer. The second part, which is equally important, is making sure that you deal with that customer in a professional and courteous way, always. You know, that saying about the customer always being right. Well, what you're really saying is that the customer is the person you always have to communicate positively to, no matter what the circumstances. And that third is making sure that your quality in terms of your involvement with the customer is at the highest level. If the customer is irate or the customer doesn't understand, you're never going to fully resolve that customer's issue. So that's the third key component, making sure you're handling it in a professional way, you're courteous to the customer, and if you don't have the answer, make sure that you're always honest with the customer and say, I don't have the answer. I will resolve this to your satisfaction and get back to the customer, and keeping your word in an honest fashion is extremely important. Well, first let me say that customer service, good customer service in private industry and in corrections are really the same. There is no differentiation in types of customer service. Now, you may have a different parameter for your customer service, i.e., delivery time, and that may be something that you need to focus more on in corrections, because it's more of a manufacturing, and there's a lot of just-in-time type manufacturing that makes you an effective business. But at its base, customer service still requires dealing with a customer, being responsive to the customer's need. So when you ask me that second part of the question, how does it differ? It really doesn't differ that much. Good customer service at its base is always the same, satisfying the customer in a professional way and a courteous way. An award for customer service. Well, of course, you have to start talking about metrics, performance metrics, if you're going to talk about awards. Am I meeting those objectives? Am I doing what I need to do to satisfy customers? Depending on the customer, those things can vary. But there are some things that are basic to all customers: on-time delivery, quality of product, courtesy in dealing with their issues, making sure that the information you've provided them is accurate and reflects the product. So I would like to get an award for me meeting those requirements. I'm delivering my product to my customer on time, the quality of the product is great, and I'm satisfying the customer's needs. I would measure that, obviously, with delivery time. What is the customer's delivery time? Am I meeting those requirements? Am I satisfying that customer in terms of quality? Meaning, I'm not getting any returned products from that customer. My return rate is extremely low, or 100% on-time delivery and quality. And finally, that last piece, are customers saying good things about me? Is my boss getting positive feedback from my customers? They're satisfied. And I have to say this, finally, the most important thing, if I'm getting an award, is that I've met the business needs of the business. That the company is making the money, the organization is getting the income in order to meet and satisfy what our objectives were. And if I'm doing that, then please give me an award. Top satisfaction in terms of customer service would really be the feedback that I get from customers. Contacting me, telling me that my team is doing a great job, that we're delivering product on time, they're very satisfied with the quality of our product. And most importantly, that they want to recommend to their friends and other business associates that they're doing business with me. So my top accomplishment really is growing the business based on good customer service.